Mike's Daily Podcast.
It's so good that I've made it here today to talk to you on the podcast show. It's good. Because yesterday,
Mike's Daily Podcast
was crazy wet with the rain. We had a cyclone that was not fun. If you own a house and you're like, oh my gosh, the roof leaks, ouch, that's going to cost a lot to fix. I had more of an issue with the
Mike's Daily Podcast.
There's like a downstairs area that's slightly underground, which I love during the heat
Mike's
of the summer.
Daily
But when it gets really
Podcast.
like a cyclone explosion,
Yeah!
what'd they call it? Burst, a cyclone burst. Wow. Well, all that water and it started to leak in the basement downstairs area. And that always throws me off. And then I have dreams about being underwater. And the water is just pouring in. And then I wake up at 4:30 in the morning, which was the heaviest rain we had was at that point, just at the very end. And then at 5 o'clock, the rain stopped. And then we're like, we haven't had the rest of the day, no rain. But an entire day of rain in California, in a state that's not used to it, can cause all kinds of issues. So I just wanted to share that with you. And I talked to my mom yesterday, and she's got to go in for a big surgery. And she knew the surgery had to be done when I was visiting her a couple weeks ago in Daytona Beach. She was already aware this was going to happen, and she kept it from me because she wanted me to have a good time. But now the piper has to be paid, and she's telling me about this big surgery she's going to have to get done. So that's very worrisome. She's very optimistic. I'm optimistic, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking about it going, ugh, why? And she's in her 80s.
And here's today's podcast picture.
So yes, it's trite. It's been said a billion times, but I could sure use your thoughts. What?
Satellite's down.
Uh-oh. I gotta check something out. We'll be right back after this.
Later that day.
So everything got fixed. We're okay. Just happens sometimes. I get distracted. Oh, so the podcast picture is from Florida. It's from this one little area near the, what do you call it? Ponce Inlet. Ponce, what is this called? Near Lighthouse Point Park. They call this the Ponce de Leon Inlet. Oh, Basil the Boxer would have loved going there. Never made it to Florida, as I mentioned, but hey. And he would have loved all the rain yesterday. He used to like walking in the rain and getting completely soaked. And then I'd get a big towel out and I'd be, hey, dog's been washed. I guess you could add a little shampoo to him and scrub, and there he'd be nice and clean dog. But now it's cats. It's a world of cats. After the late great Basil the Boxer passed and some time went by, suddenly we are taking care of 2 feral cats. And they weren't so feral yesterday. They were inside enjoying the dryness. But we need water. Water's the best thing to drink to stay hydrated because it's calorie-free, inexpensive, readily available. Drinking the commonly recommended 8-ounce glass of water a day is reasonable, considering about 25% of our daily fluid intake comes from food and the rest from drinks. In addition to water, beverages such as milk, juice, and herbal teas are composed mostly of water. The solid foods you eat, especially fruits and vegetables, can also provide a significant amount of water. Cucumbers, 96% water, and watermelons, 92%. Cucumbers more than watermelons. However, many processed foods, such as chips and crackers, are nearly devoid of moisture and contain a lot of salt. The excess salt thickens your blood and makes it harder for your blood to circulate through your body. To get rid of the excess salt, the body requires more liquid. Caffeinated drinks, such as coffee and soda, can contribute to your daily water intake, but the caffeine acts as a diuretic, and that can cause you to lose more fluids and excess sugar can inhibit the body from absorbing water. Alcoholic drinks are also a diuretic. When drinking alcoholic beverages, be sure to drink plenty of water. That is one rule that seems to be the constant in this universe. You heard it back when you were first, let's say, you were first allowed to drink alcohol. They always said, drink a lot of water. Sports drinks are high in added sugars and calories and should be used only when you're exercising intensely. For more than an hour, these drinks help replace electrolytes lost through perspiration and sugar needed for energy during longer bouts of exercise. But energy drinks are different from sports drinks. Energy drinks generally aren't formulated to replace electrolytes. Energy drinks usually contain large amounts of caffeine and sugar and other additives. So look out. This all from theheartfoundation.org. Was this written by Fauci? Should you believe it? So there's a pastor from Podcastro Valley, and we're broadcasting from Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth, here at Cafe Anyway. And this is episode, I'll tell you in a moment. I forgot. I have to think about it. But yes, this pastor in Podcastro Valley, all he talks about, 2322. All he talks about is how you can't trust Fauci and don't take the vaccine because you don't know what's in the vaccine. And here's what you should take. And then he'll list a bunch of organic stuff. And he says, yeah, you can basically what did they used to call it? The wives' tale or the homeopathic remedies, all of that. So is he like not going to ever take any vaccine ever for any disease? Is this his new trajectory in life? As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast somewhere in Podcastro Valley, Mont, the last place on earth. Neil Cavuto today said, hey, just get the vaccine. You're wasting all this time and energy fighting it. Just do it, and that way your body can fight off the virus. Although he used some other colorful language, Neil Cavuto. But yes, it's interesting why this pastor in Podcastro Valley feels the need to just obsess over this topic. And in the end, years from now, as we have seen from all the other vaccines that we have had to take over the years, how is he, doesn't he see the history? Doesn't he see how it's going to be? But Mike, and this is what he would tell me, Mike, but look at all the history of people who have lied to us about vaccines. You can't trust anybody. You can't trust the government. Or are you just saying that now because the current government is a Democrat administration? If it was a Republican administration, you'd be whistling a different tune probably. Just, basically assuming that. And you know what they say about assuming? Assuming is a wonderful verb that people use a lot. I'm extrapolating, let's just say. Extrapolating from the, stuff, facts, what I've observed. But when I was looking up the benefits of water, because we had so much water yesterday with the cyclone burst, with all of it coming down all at once in California. Oh yeah, and we're still in a drought. I was doing the search, and it's instead of the benefits for water, it came up the benefits for WA, and instead of water, the word was watching. And it said the benefits for watching less TV. And I thought I would just mention this real quick. TV can be so addicting, especially when you find a series on Netflix or Amazon Prime or whatever that you love, and you can plan to watch one show before bed on a Sunday night, and before you know it, it's 2 in the morning. In fact, all day yesterday I was watching Carpetbagger when he was driving on the Dixie Highway. Found that fascinating. If you intentionally cut back on your daily screen time, your life may change in many aspects. If you swap your screen time with 1 hour of workout, you could lose weight and boost your self-confidence. If you could lose weight because you stop the mindless eating that occurs when you sit in front of a television watching stuff, you could lose weight because you stop eating late at night while watching TV while you're TV binging. If you swap out TV with reading books about finances or self-help or relationship development or your career, you might find yourself growing and improving, and your whole quality of life may improve. If you replace watching TV with cooking and family dinners at the table instead of getting takeaway, as the British call it, or takeout food, or just getting all this food that's high in fats from the fast food restaurants, or simply face-to-face conversations with your friends and family, you may enjoy deeper relationships and have a more healthier way of life. If you take a walk with your dog instead of watching TV, I did a lot of that for a while. I wasn't watching any TV because I was walking Basil the Boxer, another WA starting word, walking with Basil, which was so much fun with the late great Basil the Boxer. And that, of course, led to better fitness. If you cancel your cable subscription, if you cancel your Netflix subscription, you can save cold hard cash, perhaps hundreds if not thousands of dollars annually. By watching less TV, you'll cut down your energy bills. If you switch screen time with in-person or online classes that will enhance your job skills, you'll become a more valuable worker, and you may get promoted at work. And if you do all this and you cut out the TV time, you could get more sleep. Instead of staying up late to watch that show you're hooked on, you can go to bed at an acceptable time, get a solid 7 to 8 hours of sleep. Your body and mind will thank you. And I got that from lightningbug.electric.com. Lightning Bug Electric. What is Lightning Bug Electric? America's brightest electricians. But they had some ideas about watching less TV, even though they deal in the electricity world. I'm confused. But that's episode 2322. Thank you for listening. Oh, and by the way, we rehomed a possum, which some people will tell you you cannot rehome a possum. Wherever the possum is, you have to let them live. You can't bring them to another habitat. But we did. And the possum, we brought him to this big forest. It's a big, wide open space. I mean, it goes on for miles and miles and miles and miles of square miles. It's huge, this area. We got a lot of that in the East Bay, believe it or not. And so he's running off into the wilderness and happy. Apologies to all of you who find that offensive in some way. But hey, we wanted him to be in a better place, in a better area, instead of walking into my house all the time. Look who's here. Hi, Mark. It's Benita the Rodeo Queen. How y'all doing?
That's a Disgruntled Fiddle Player. Tell you what.
What?
I'm glad we had this conversation. I think it was very productive.
It was this very short conversation that lasted 5 seconds. Look who else is here.
Oh, Mike, I'm making the least root beer handsome right now.
How did you like all the rain?
I didn't like it. Drink it right now. I'll cut you.
All that water. I should be drinking water instead of your root beer.
Yeah, okay, whatever. All right, oh, bye.
Next show, it's going to be the wonderful Madame Rootabega, Valentino, and Bison Bentley. Find out more about me at mikesdailypodcast.com. You can call in and tell me what you think about anything we covered today. 336mm daily. 3 plus 3 equals 6. As in Mike Matthews. Daily as in what this podcast usually is. But like I got interrupted yesterday because, I don't know, Cyclone Burst!
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!